Tetris! What a game! What a series! What?
Hey, don't you think this game has been talked about enough? I mean, damn, do you realise the reception you're going to get if you put this video out?
Huh. Tetris 2. Why do I never hear anybody talk about this?
It's the only numbered sequel to the original, for a handheld at least, that I know of. After all, you've got the new Tetris, Tetris Attack, Tetris DS, Tetris Worlds, Tetris the Quickening, Tetris the Hands of Fate, and Tetris the overextended fake subtitle joke. But actual numbered sequels in the series are rare. Anyhow, Tetris 2 was developed by Tosa and published by Bulletproof Software, and also released onto the NES and SNES, albeit in slightly different forms. Tosa have developed a huge amount in its 34-year history actually, with titles such as Space Invaders on the NES, Game & Watch Gallery 2 for the Game Boy Color, and the Staffy titles for the Game Boy Advance. They have recently developed some huge and critically acclaimed games as well. There must be a reason why no one utters this title's name that often though. Maybe it's because it's awe-inspiringly incredible.
Hey, we live in hope.
Okay, alright, this is Dr. Mario. I mean, look at it. It's flippin' Dr. Mario. You place shapes into the well until 3 of the same colour pieces match up, vertically or horizontally, and then once all these circle pieces have disappeared, you can move on to the next stage. Replace the circles with germs and the tetronymos, if you can even call them that, with the pills, and it's basically the same game. The way sections of the pieces break apart and how you complete levels, it's pretty much identical. Anyway, I don't want to sound callous, but I secretly judge anyone who goes out of his or her way to play a Dr. Mario title. It always seems to me like one of those titles you accidentally end up playing at various points in your life, like in the minigame in WarioWare or getting caught up in the year of Luigi Frenzy, not something you actively seek out. Not that it's a particularly bad series, of course. I'll admit that while compiling footage I played the game for much longer than I'd planned, but I personally find it not to be the most rewarding of experiences. So the fact that Tetris 2 actually makes the concept even worse says it all. This is because the main thing that differentiates it from Dr. Mario, the blocks are made up of 4 pieces and not 2, actually ends up severely unbalancing the formula. Having to use pills made up of 2 parts is fine, but adding pieces this big into the mix means that it's decided very early on whether you clear a stage. If you don't get rid of the necessary pieces quickly, you may as well give up, as clearing up a mess like this is simply not going to happen unless you're a master, or get very lucky indeed, like I was here. Admittedly, you do have to match up just 3 pieces of the same colour, and not 4 like in Dr. Mario, but this still feels like a recipe that doesn't quite work. To add to the pain, the game doesn't even have the common courtesy to let you restart quickly sometimes either. Damn! 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 There's no sense that you can fight back from incredible odds like in the original game, and nothing as gratifying as smacking down a Tetris either. I will admit that I get a small buzz of enjoyment when you finish a stage and all the garbage left gets blown up, but it doesn't make up for the tedium that came before it. Oh, and the game has 2 modes, but they're effectively the same thing. In normal you simply have to clear the pieces and have as long as you wish to do so, but in puzzle you have to clear the well in a set number of moves. Ultimately though, my biggest problem with the game is that the Tetris name was slapped onto it. This is not Tetris. The Tetris series has been the subject of many humiliations, such as this, or whatever this is. But having a numbered sequel that bears no resemblance to the original in terms of gameplay has to be the hardest kick to the nads of all. At least something like Tetris Attack was good. Tetris 2 just feels like a hollow shell of a game. I blame it for the flood of subpar spin-offs that followed in the Tetris series as well, as it made it all too easy to subvert the original concept beyond all recognition. There was strange tweaking to the formula before this of course. There was the flicky bird power-up in Block Seed for example, and the bombs in Super Tetris. But Bulletproof Software were the first to release games under the Tetris name that butchered the gameplay so much that it barely even registers as a successor to the original. They should have called this Dr. Tetris. I'm surprised that name hasn't been used yet actually. Developers, you can have that one for free.
To sum up, I paid £1.04 for this game, and I feel ripped off. Heed my warning. Heed it.
Hey, thanks for watching. You can see the previous episode of Handheld History by clicking this link on the left, and also a retrospective I cobbled together on the superlative Super Tennis on the right. Also, please do subscribe and like this video. You know, if you want. Oh, and this piece looks like a... never mind.
Now I call that downright supernatural.